Welcome back again, friends, to Tactical Enlightenment. This channel is dedicated to showing you not only the most titanic battles in Bannerlord, but also demonstrating advanced battlefield tactics and field command to help you dominate your own game. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment, your YouTube channel dedicated to showing you advanced tactics and field command and huge fucking battles, and applying those tactics to win those huge battles. Following along with the campaign here, our campaign is reaching a fairly desperate stage. We're being attacked. If people who don't know, new to the channel, we're being attacked by all 8 different kingdoms at the same time. This is purposeful to make for an extremely difficult campaign. And we're being basically closed in on all 4 sides. So I've decided to go back to sort of my original homeland. I was a Sturgian vassal to begin the game, and I like this bridgehead here. I like that little area where we can basically protect our realm easier than being out in the open here. Of course, originally I had 7 or 8 cities and 8 or 9 castles when I made the decision to fight the whole map, and it's been just a grueling, savage contest here, war against the worlds, quite literally. So we're making a foray into the north. We've got a couple different lord armies that are following us. We already have a sizable army, and we're going to try to take a couple of these cities, maybe 3 of these cities, and sort of shift where our capital is, shift where the foundation of our homeland is. I'm bringing along a lot of food, a lot of pack animals, some good equipment that we're going to be able to store in a couple of these cities. But again, the difficulty level, this would be called difficulty level max, right? We are playing war against 8 different kingdoms, and at this stage, all of the other 8 kingdoms are bigger than ours. And you can see our army here is packed full of companions and family members. This is a very long campaign I've been playing. A lot of these characters are level 40 and above. We have a very strong army at this stage, of course. If you play late into a campaign, you will have a stacked army like this as well. And we're going to need every ounce of it in the battles that are surely to come. I do have some sea raiders. I've been recruiting bandits. Anytime I have the opportunity to corner a bandit and have them join us, we've been doing so. There's a number of different things that I do to make this campaign on extra high difficulty. One of them is to automatically release all enemy lords after battles. Of course, strategically that doesn't make any sense, but the whole point is we want to have the hardest possible battles as you can. This campaign foray into the north here is essentially just an effort to distract the enemy from our other territory and also to draw them into a concentrated area. I figure my own army has had a lot of success against enemy armies, but any of our vassal armies, any of our undefended castles have been falling pretty easily. So a little bit like Napoleon at the end of his reign, we are trying to essentially concentrate our empire into a small area, a more defendable empire. That way that I can come to grips with any enemy forces that are trying to waylay us. When your empire is very spread out, of course, it's much harder to defend all the different enemy attacks. So to that effect, I've called all of my nobles, all of the significant nobles who have, 150, 200 troops to this foray. This is effectively very similar to Napoleon's campaign in Russia. Ironically, we're kind of heading into the same part of the map that you could sort of equate with Russia. Of course, it's originally our homeland. Now it's being owned by Khazate, and we're sort of going to fight our way through almost kind of to Moscow, just like Napoleon's foray in 1812. I may even do a historical analog about this campaign or some of these battles. I suppose this battle here would be like the Battle of Smolensk for history fans. I'll talk more about it in a later episode. And as usual, we're seriously outnumbered. Khazate's a pretty difficult battle no matter what. With their horse archers, we're going to reduce player damage here slightly, just so I have a better chance of staying in command the whole battle. I still haven't been able to get the RTS mod to work with my campaign. Maybe with the next campaign I'll be able to get it working. Now, we're also not going to fight at the back of the map. You can fight Khazate at the back of the map. I do recommend that if you're in a do-or-die battle. In this instance, though, some people sort of consider it cheese already. You know, you couldn't just stand at the back of an open field and say, hey, you know, horse archers, you're not allowed to circle us, Genghis Khan. You please stay in front of us so we can shoot you full of arrows. Obviously, they would not comply. So we're gonna play this out kind of realistically here. What I'm gonna do is use my cav walls, my cav shield walls in big long lines here to basically provide sort of a line of meat, a line of shields, horses, armor, protecting a lot of our archers as we look for a spot on this upper ridge here. That's a lot of horse archers. Fortunately, we have a lot of Britannian Fiend champs and other high-level companions, so we should be able to joust pretty well from the artillery side, from the archer side of battle. What I want to be able to do, though, is I want to be able to slow down these horse archers. Horse archers are deadliest when they're moving, and in this instance, what I'm going to try to do is effectively surround them here with my 8th Corps, 7th Corps. Got these units following me, just like this. And I want these guys bottled up, that way they can't move, because if they're not moving, they're going to get shot full of arrows, just like what's happening right now. And it's just a screen of green. Britannian Fiend champs, my companions are shooting them. I'm beheading these fucks. And just in that first initial salvo there, they lost like a third or half of their horse archers. They're still all stuck. See, their horses are dead here. These guys can't even escape. They're basically caught in a death trap. You see my shield wall here, cav. That'll also protect my troops against enemy cavalry charges. If they make heavy cav charges, these line of men here will definitely provide nice defense. Behind them I have my 6th Corps here. These are elite skirmishers. And then I have a small amount of infantry. They still have obviously a huge amount of horse archers. There's their main vanguard. Typically, Khazate has about 20% infantry. Their vanguard's actually pretty weak. I find their archers and horse archers to be the biggest threat. Of course, if they have a lot of heavy cav, that's a problem too. Again, we fly in here. I've got my 7th Corps following me, so it delays a lot of their horse archers trying to flee. And you see the damage. They're just getting pelted with arrows. I kill that noble. Oh shit, I get tied up in their vanguard. Fortunately, they're moving. Come on. I like threw 3 fucking javelins right through that banner bearer. So they have some heavy cav. Try to find an angle here from the side. Whenever that happens, I drag my 7th Corps, horse archers behind me, and we're basically trying to counter them. But you see that they get tied up on our heavy horse, right? And that prevents their heavy horse from being able to get to our archers. At least a lot of them it prevents. And then, of course, we can shoot them. We can throw javelins at their face. This fucking lord here. Man, my javelin skills have gotten bad. So this little inverted V here of heavy cav, I will use it offensively at some point, but I like to use my cav in a defensive manner more often. Typically I have 100 to 150 archers in a battle like this, and in this instance, because I have all my lords gathered together, you know, each of them have 10, 15 Britannian Fiend champs, and so we have like 100 Britannian Fiend champs. Basically the best archer in the game. The only better archers are my companions, some of whom have 300 bow skill. So skirmishing at this stage, we're doing extremely well just by skirmishing. And so what I'm actually going to do here is do a little bit of kiting. We're going to back our forces up. We're going to continue to pound the enemy with our arrows and see if we can't continue to play this ranged attack game. This cav line, of course, one of the things they're doing is absorbing a lot of arrows. You can just hear the arrows pounding their shields. Right? I can use them to guard me, guard their troops, and absorb a ton of the enemy's arrows. These guys do probably better than any other units in the game at defending yourself from arrows. The horses are getting hit. Right? These very, very dutiful horses are taking arrows. They're armored too. Now they got archers behind their vanguard. What I think I can do here is I think I can surround their forces and make an attack on it. Got that shield. So I'm stretching out my cav divisions, sort of wrapping around the enemy, right? You always want to approach the enemy in a flank, especially when they're static like this. We're continuing to do artillery exchanges, right? Arrow exchanges. But critically, we have the advantage of this heavy cav right here, sort of protecting us, right? You see some arrows getting through, but I also see them stacking up the arrows on their shield. Right? Occasionally, a guy will get shot off his horse. But at this stage, we have the advantage. So I'm moving my second cav right into the face of their enemy's right flank. It's making them spread their archers out, and we're going to take advantage. In go the 8th Corps, in go the 6th Corps, and I'm going to move a second cav division right to the face of these archers so that they're distracted, they can't shoot, they're freaked out, they're getting knocked to the ground, and in we go. 6th, 8th Corps attacking. I've got the 8th actually following me, and we're going to wade right in on these archers. Now the cav division is in there. Now you notice I'm ignoring their infantry. The infantry is just over there on the side. I'm keeping an eye on them. But if they want to be static and just stand there in a big pile of shield walls while we kill all their archers, we will let them. We'll deal with them in due turn. Anytime the enemy wants to attack you with one division at a time, smile and say thanks. They're now regrouping. That infantry division was completely worthless in that battle, and it looks like, yeah, they just regrouped. So they stood there with shields, stood there like dipshits while a third of their archers got mown down. Now we're shooting them on the retreat. And at each stage so far of this battle, we've already had tactical victories. Battles essentially are all about stacking up tactical victories, right? You're going to occasionally have tactical losses where the enemy makes a maneuver that surprises you or by brute force overpowers you. But in big battles like this, the key is to win tactical battle after tactical battle. It's almost like a chess game, right? We want to take their bishop and lose a pawn. We want to take their queen and lose a bishop. A little bit of a re-skirmish here as they reform their lines. Again, they have this very large tranche, these fucks, and they're being very defensive. They have archers and infantry sort of commingled together in a huge group. Of course, this is not good strategy, right? The archers should be stretched out. They should be in multiple divisions. This is just a situation also where we can attack. So they're moving. Anytime the enemy moves, you should attack. Just fly in like reckless motherfuckers. Drag any cav like you have to attack. When enemies are moving, that means their archers are not shooting, right? That gives you the temporary advantage. So they're reforming here again. Again, though, I just have these heavy cav walls right in their faces. They've got a bunch of horse archers behind, 79 guys behind, so I can assign a cav division to attack them, but you have to remember I have like 100 plus archers back there squaring off with them. Now these heavy cav, oh no, that's our cav. If they send in heavy cav, I've got to counter that. But as long as they don't have heavy cav in our backfield, I don't care. Their horse archers can skirmish all they want. These guys back here, you know, occasionally you'll see me fly in, but these guys are getting shot off their mounts. These guys are at least going to have a difficult time because we have, if we don't have more archers overall than their horse archers, we have a similar amount. And so they're fairly capable of skirmishing. Looks like this infantry division decided to charge one of our archer wings. I have the 6th Corps over here, and I can send these archers in now, melee. So this is a tactical win here for the enemy. Now, their forces aren't large enough to really make an impact. They're getting some kills, but they basically pulled that attack off at the right time, where I wasn't looking, where my troops weren't kiting, and so they were able to get some kills there as their infantry moved in on our archers. Right, so that's an instance where your opponent took a rook with one of their pawns. This is going to happen in some battles. The key is to not allow it to happen over and over again. So we're moving our cav wall up again, shield wall. Our second cav is largely decimated. It's down to 16 guys. Again, we're seriously outnumbered in this battle, so I'm going to kite now with these archers. The enemy's starting to move in on them. That's quite an infantry block, too. Part of the reason they have so many infantry, I forgot, is that they have Sturgian forces with them. So it's a combined army of Sturgian and Khazate, which actually is a really, really strong army if you think about it, because one of the weakest parts of the Khazate is their infantry. Well, if they have Sturgian infantry with them as well, they kind of have the best of both worlds. They have outstanding horse archers, good archers, obviously Khan's guards, and then they have the powerful Sturgian forces, heavy cav, and their elite infantry. Right now, the enemy's actually waxing us, so we're pulling back a little bit here. Sometimes when you're getting your ass kicked, the best thing to do is reset, pull back a little bit, wait for reinforcements, and look for a better opportunity. I don't mind showing sort of tactical defeats in intermittent spots of a battle as we push off their infantry here. Look at how tough their infantry is. This is fucking tough. What I think this shows is that I play the game sort of straight through. I play very rarely do I fight a battle more than once. Usually it's like if there's an error, like troops get stuck or something like that, or it just totally fucks up my my reinforcement location. But for the most part, I play each battle live, and we sort of accept the results as is. Just knock this motherfucker off his horse. Die, motherfucker. It's a pretty pure way of playing, but there can be unpleasant results. The main character that I had for almost a year of real life time, I built him up to like level 60, might have even been level 61. He was actually killed in battle, and obviously we just accept those results and move on. Consider it like just like real life here. I think it adds to a level of suspense. We do show our losses too. I don't show every loss. Sometimes we have terrible losses, but any loss that I think people will enjoy watching, where there's some tactics used, where it's an interesting struggle, where perhaps they can learn a few things that'll help their own campaign, I'm going to try to show. For you, the viewer, one of the benefits is that you're never sure whether or not you're watching a win, a loss, us crushing the enemy, or us getting routed. Like I'm going to show all these different types of battles. So I got infantry reinforcements here, and it put them in a pretty good position as far as where the enemy location is. Put them sort of astride the enemy, on their flank. So we're moving these guys in aggressively, and I'm just following in, cleaning up. It's a very difficult situation, though. The enemy has their forces spread out. It's probably random, but it's actually a very good setup. It's basically highly spread archers, and they have infantry mixed in. This is not a situation where we're going to be able just to plow the road here. Again, we're outnumbered at least 2 to 1. You have to do a lot of axe work in this battle. Where the fuck are my reinforcements? I guess I'm it. In we go. Fuck you. My reinforcement wave just dissolved. Here they come over the ridge. Grab a horse. I'm going to use this ridge here to set up a Peekaboo ridge strategy. Basically, we're going to hold the edge of this ridge and bring up heavy infantry right at the edge of it. God, these fucking cavalry are just all over us. Archers at this back ridge so they can shoot everything that comes over the top of that ridge. Heavy infantry in front. I've got some horse archers here. There's some Khan's guards. And now it's up to us just to prevent and hold the enemy from coming over this ridge. Fuck you. See how their archers can't shoot over that ridge. They've got to come right over our ridge to attack us. This plays right to our hands. I think we're going to try to shove right through this. I've got a long line of infantry here. The horse archers behind us, there's nothing I can do about that right now. I don't have the cap to counter them. So we're just going to fly in here aggressively. I've got archers in tow and an infantry line just plowing through their archers. This is going to be a very messy battle. They have very high level troops too. I still see level 5 troops in their army. Ah, motherfuckers. Tough infantry too. Sturgeon line breakers. It's a brawl. A good old-fashioned fucking slugfest. That's how we like it. I'm not here for easy wins. You guys want a challenge? Here we go. Now we can fall back to this archer line. That's the whole advantage of having the archers right here. Anytime I want, we can just pull back, and these archers spread out over the top of this ridge. The enemy can attack us, but these archers can just shoot them as soon as they come over that ridge. Now I have infantry reinforcements coming up, and we can blitz this incoming infantry. They're coming up sort of piecemeal. God, they're throwing a lot of fucking throwing weapons at us. Get up here. They are tough too. The Sturgians, man, they block, it seems like they block 80% of attacks. I mean, they are fucking stubborn, tough troops. My infantry's slowly making their way into battle, but it's in the nick of time. Our archers are just now having to beat off this infantry line. The supporting infantry reinforcements should do the trick. It's a bloody battle, though. This is not going to be an easy victory. Put them into a shield wall. Let's stretch them out right here in a big line. We can get archers behind them. A lot of your tactics in huge battles like this revolve around putting your troops in the right physical spot. You want to have ridges protecting you. You can see that ridge there right ahead of that infantry. That sort of prevents the enemy archers from really unloading on us. If they were hammering us with 150, 200 archers at the same time as the rest of this infantry, we might be in serious trouble. Instead, you see the death spam. It's not all green, but it's mostly green. We're starting to get archers right to the edge of the ridge there. Now I have my infantry on charge, so as soon as those archers get over the ridge, right, they're all of a sudden they're facing a guy with a two-handed axe. Either myself or one of these other savages. It's a very bad situation for the enemy. Now they've got infantry pushing through, but behind that infantry is nice, soft archers for us to destroy. Hey, you stubborn fucks. I just set my archers on charge. I'll do that if the enemy's pressing close, and I'm aware of the time distance between when that archery unit came to the field and the time that I tell them to charge. The reason is because when archers run out of arrows, a lot of times they will stand there. They will stand there with their bow, stand there with their shield, and obviously it's a disaster for you, right? They're going to get shot full of arrows. you want them on charge when they're low on ammunition. What that does is every guy who's out of ammunition effectively becomes infantry immediately. They charge the battle, they charge the field. Fuck you, you horse lords. Start killing all these fucking horsemen. Those archers on charge, though, effectively support your infantry. So you have your heavy infantry charging in the front and your archers on charge behind them. That gives you effectively the best of both worlds. You have archers shooting, you have infantry charging, and then any archers that are out of ammunition, typically crossbowmen first, they enter the fray. They're not great infantry, but it's more troops for you in the battle. It's more swords against the enemy's throat. And it gives you the best chance to win. My health has gotten precariously low. I've got to avoid, I mean, like one spear to the knee and down he goes. The enemy's starting to reform again over this ridge. We've got a big tranche of archers coming in now, 180 archers. I'm going to do some work on these horse archers back here so these guys can focus their firepower, but the battle's starting to change in our favor here. Deadly with this glaive. Now our archers should be able to focus on the enemy. Sending in the infantry aggressively here. And let's join these boys. This feels like a rout is imminent. The screen is all green. The enemy is either reforming or routing. Charge. When the enemy's wavering, charge. Moving my archers up. Don't forget about your other troops in a battle like this. Make sure they're moving forward. You know what that smell is? That's the smell of victory. The enemy's fleeing. Well, as I let off a little exhale of relief, they're still shooting at us. No, they're out of here. Sometimes in battles like this, I don't have any idea whether or not it's going to be a victory or not. We've had to retreat in instances like this because the enemy put up a good fight. Of course, we're hugely outnumbered. It's never a certain thing. But today, victory is ours. We didn't even suffer too many losses. 800 losses, give or take. That's gonna definitely help us here with our invasion. I say an invasion, I would really call this more a retaking of our homeland. Of course, I was a Sturgian vassal to start. We're heading back to our homeland here. We're making an invasion to the north. We're going to try to retake some of our original cities. And we're going to fight this fucking enemy down to the last throw. I appreciate all those who've been following along with the campaign, all those who are interested, all those also who just come for tactical information, advice. I've got literally 1,000 battles under my belt at this point, so I think I could definitely help guys. I appreciate all the comments, all the likes, the subscribes. Stay tuned. You know there are bigger and harder battles coming. I'll see you friends next time.